miles per hour, was moving northwest. Some of you hurricane hunters, tropical storm folks, you'd really like the coordinates. 7 p.m., 35 miles, moving northwest at 7 miles per hour. Tropical storm warnings have been issued in Nicaragua, Honduras. Of course, warnings mean that tropical storm conditions expected within the warning area. In this case, forecasters say those conditions could arrive within 24 hours. So at present, the depression is considered a major rainmaker. And here's what I'm concerned about. They're forecasting 15 to 20 inches of rain in portions of Nicaragua, as much as 30 inches possible in some areas. And these predictions in the Gulf Coast there, they're saying it's going to be a huge rainmaker, and that's not good for us. So, they say this system serves as a reminder that hurricane season is far from over. Tropical Depression 16, in fact, formed at the end of hurricane season's peak. Forecasters call the period between mid-August, mid-October, the season within the season. This 8-week period is often the most active and dangerous time for tropical cyclone activity. This is according to NOAA. So then meanwhile, a trough of low pressure located over Cuba and into the Straits of Florida was continuing to dump rain. Forecasters do not expect the system to develop more, but say it could create wet conditions along southern Florida over the next few days. So we have that front as well. So all eyes on Nate. We'll see what she does. We'll be definitely monitoring it. And those in Alabama, Mississippi, Florida definitely need to keep your eyes on this. All right, I promised, and I need to do it because hour one, I just, you get carried away and you get talking about things. The music comes last. But man, this is the tribute that I promised. And for any of you that have never heard of the headliner that was there in Vegas, this is why people went out to see him. He's very, very good. This is his latest song, They Don't Know. This is Jason Aldean.
You're a crack at dawn, Monday morning coffee, strong, pouring everything you got into a paycheck Friday night. You're a power stroke, diesel backhoe riding, king of beers, 18-wheeler driving, living life in between the lines of clocking in and quitting time. But then the six-string circus comes to town, we hang them speakers over the crowd. When the lights come on, everybody screaming, lighters in the sky, yeah, everybody singing every word to every song of the girl they're taking home tonight. When the lights come on, everybody's feeling a hallelujah high from the floor to the ceiling. Yeah, the drink that we're drinking, the smoke that we're smoking, the party we're throwing, it's going all night long. When the lights come on, when the lights come on. You're a little shy thing with a wild side on a night like this. You just can't hide, cause it's time to live it up. So come on and raise your cup. If we're talking about memories, yeah, we're gonna make them. Talking about rules, you know we're gonna break them. When the lights come on, everybody screaming, lighters in the sky, yeah, everybody singing every word to every song of the girl they're taking home tonight. When the lights come on, everybody's feeling a hallelujah high from the floor to the ceiling. Yeah, the drink that we're drinking, the smoke that we're smoking, the party we're throwing, it's going all night long. When the lights come on, when the lights come on. Yeah, we all the same, cause we thinking the same thing. We on the same page, cause we sipping the same drink. Here's a little something to thank y'all for showing up. Al Dean and the boys are about to blow it up. When the lights come on and everybody's screaming, lighters in the sky, yeah, everybody's singing every word to every song to the girl they're taking home tonight. When the lights come on, everybody's feeling a hallelujah high from the floor to the ceiling. Yeah, the drink that we're drinking, the smoke that we're smoking, the party we're throwing, it's going all night long. When the lights come on, when the lights come on, your buzz blowing it up, it's going all night long. When the lights come on.
Jason Aldean. What a song, folks. And that goes out to all those that lost their lives, and we might have a time to play another one of his songs. It wasn't his best known, but one of his latest, They Don't Know, on iTunes. But great musician, got a great number of albums. I think I got like 8, 10, 12 albums out, but this guy's been in country music for some time, but the lyrics, band is terrific. People love him from all over the country. And patriotic songs, God and country. The storylines are just terrific. Music's terrific. I just got a call from a listener, I guess a longtime fan, longtime listener of Chuck Hart is For the People. And I think he's a little confused as to why Chuck's not on the air anymore. And some people, have tuned out, haven't heard Chuck in decades, or at least a decade. Chuck Harder used to do the show for the Telford Hotel in the 1990s. It's 2017. Something bad happened to Chuck. He had some health issues, but Chuck was a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And he tried to partner with the UAW because he wanted to make a project called Project USA successful of making things in America. He was against GATT and NAFTA, and the IRS was threatening him if he didn't stop doing. He needed to kind of merge his 501c3 into a profit-making thing, and he was in a conundrum. And long story short, the deal fell through. Chuck lost tons of money and had an 18-year audit with the IRS on him. And there's a big article on WorldNet Daily. But to find it fast, right now on Google, type in Chuck Harder /silenced, and you'll read the whole article about how the IRS silenced his voice with the UAW, with Hillary Clinton, for 18 years and drove him broke. That's where all his money went. He had no money coming in. He had to fight with lawyers, had to pay for lawyers. He had to pay for his CPA the whole time, had to pay for damages because it ruined his business. They destroyed him. So it was a direct takeout piece. So hopefully that answers it, why Chuck's in a nursing home. Chuck was taken to the cleaners by our government, courtesy of Hillary Clinton, courtesy of Frank Joyce, Ed Miller, all these bad players back in the 90s at the Telford Hotel when Chuck was trying to merge in. It just happened to have been a bad business deal. Chuck was number 2, number 3 most listened to person in America, and it's unbelievable to think that Chuck's in a nursing home in Gainesville, and it's not the nicest place. But Chuck is broker than a spoke. He does not have any money in the bank. They took it all. And Chuck didn't do anything wrong other than, he blasted Clinton and his policies. Remember Ross Perot, free trade ain't free. Remember Chuck had Pat Choate? Remember that? That's right, independent. He was my boss, and he was on the air constantly with Chuck. And even Pat Choate couldn't do anything because it was just too powerful, too much money. And the same groups of people are still out there today destroying people's lives. It's just that's how the left works. But they silenced his once prominent voice. So we're keeping the program on the air. We revamped it, and we're moving forward. And Chuck, in good spirits. He's in a nursing home, and he's trying to hold his own, folks. What else can you do? Here's another song. I said one more time. We're going to do another one here, and this is with Kelly Clarkson. It's called, what is it? Don't You Want to Stay? I think you'll like this one. You don't even have to be a fan, but this is why 22,000 people really more or less came out to see him. He was the biggest headliner out there, and there was others, but this was definitely a big one.
I really hate to let this moment go. Touching your skin and your hair falling slow. When a goodbye kiss feels like this. Don't you wanna stay here a little while? Don't you wanna hold each other tight? Don't you wanna fall asleep with me tonight? Don't you wanna stay here a little while? We can make forever feel this way. Don't you wanna stay?
Jason Aldean, Kelly Clarkson, Don't You Want to Stay? For the people, Keith Allen, our tribute to those that were concert goers, that just went to hear music, to celebrate our freedoms here in our country, to love on one another. And there's nothing better than listening to some good music with some good talent, with some good friends, and people came from all over the country to do just that. Jason Aldean is canceling this weekend shows over the shooting. He's canceling all of them out of respect for the victims of the mass shooting. As you know, some of you might know, if you're just catching the news, Aldean was on stage that Sunday night when the savage, demented gunman opened fire, killing 59 people. I even hate to say his name, but injuring over 500 people. He had shows, Jason Aldean, in Inglewood, in Chula Vista, in Anaheim, California. Those are the venues that will be affected. But